Last night, in a dream, Stan Lee said to me, "Hey, East, you I bet you can make a hip flexor analogy using the Avengers crew." And I said to him, "Hey Stan, don't you swear at me. Don't you ever say the word can't." When I finished the Hip Flexor trilogy, I thought I'd go to bed and sleep real deep. Then Stan Lee started talking smack in my bedroom. There's more to say, and I'm going to say it. The bit that I felt's missing is the low ab. I briefly referenced it in the first video. 4. Immigrants can be massively overworked, exploited and underappreciated, and the same goes for hip flexors. They get accused of being too tight and too short, but they're in a vicious cycle doing two people's jobs because the other person, the low ab, is always on the sick. But it needs its own spin-off vid. And this is it. The psoas and low ab need to be locked in an eternal battle like He-Man and Skeletor. But for many, they're low abs more like Pee Wee Herman. They're not moral characters. You want your psoas as rigid as a steel girder. You don't want it stretching and shortening, torquing up your spine. To do this, because the low spine has a slight lordosis, you have to put a slight flexive force. Is that a word? Flexive force. Into it. And who does this? The low ab. Remember that imaginary needle that you stab through the muscle, and whatever pay dirt you hit on the other side, that's the antagonist. The psoas starts at L2 and goes down to L5. So on the other side, that there's low ab territory. Because the low ab's normally on the sick, this means that the psoas has nothing to counter its movement, so it does shorten. Getting short. But if the low ab turns up to work, the psoas contracts but stays the same length. So, here goes, Stan. The iliopsoas is like the Red Skull, and the low ab is like Captain America. They need to be equally matched and locked in mortal combat, neutralizing each other. And then the quads are like Thor and Iron Man trying to contain the awesome potential strength of the Hulk glutes. Now there are two of them because the quads have two jobs. When you lift the knee with the knee bent, both Thor and Iron Man work hard to get it up. But when you straighten the leg as well, Thor has to go down to the knee to do that, and he leaves Iron Man at the top to hold it all on his own. Now that's a tough call, unless he's got his Hulkbuster armor. Without it, he has malfunctions, like when your quad cramps. It's cramping because the muscle is double contracting. It's contracting at the knee joint, and it's also contracting at the hip joint. To stop it cramping, you need to neuroinnervate it, condition it, then strengthen the upper quad so that it can handle the workload. Basically, you have to build a Hulkbuster armor suit for your upper quads. You see this same phenomenon when you get someone to hip hyperextend with bent knee. The person is contracting the hamstrings at both ends, so they need to be conditioned to do it, or else the hamstring's going to cramp. The glute acts as a stabilizer to the hamstring in the same way that the low ab acts as a stabilizing force to the upper quad. So that's why if you want to protect your hamstrings from cramping, you need to strengthen your glutes. And in the same way, you have to strengthen your low ab to protect your upper quad from cramping. Because if you don't, the upper quad is trying to do two jobs while pulling off an unstable surface. Just like when Thor and Iron Man were trying to save the world when that shield helicarrier was just falling out the sky. And that means that you have to make sure that Captain America's strong so that Thor and Iron Man can do their jobs. Boom! In your face, Marvel! Well, actually, it was Iron Man and the Cap that were working together to save the helicarrier, and the Red Skull wasn't even in the Avengers, and, I mean, Thor was fighting the Hulk, and you didn't even use Black Widow or Hawkeye. If you followed this through, then you're a superhero, so give yourself a thumbs up by clicking the thumbs up. And if you like my vibe, please subscribe. Don't you ever say the word can't.